Secretly recorded from deep inside the bowels of a decommissioned missile silo, we bring you the man, one single man who wants to bring light to the darkness and dark to the lightness. Although he's not always right, he is always certain. So now, with security protocols in place, the protesters have been forced back behind the barricades and the blast doors are now sealed. Without further delay, let me introduce you to the host of HuttCast, Mr. Tim Huttner.
Thank you, Sergeant-at-Arms. You can now take your post. Tonight on HuttCast, let's have a conversation today about customer service. Customer service, as we know it, is a dinosaur. Unfortunately, we're going to have a conversation about why it's a dinosaur, and then we're going to talk about fire suppression. A little something happened over the 4th of July, 2021 that, it's kind of an eye-opener for you. It really was for me, and it kind of got my attention. So, learn from someone else's mistakes. Let's not get to that point in life where you're the guy looking for something to put out a fire with. I know that's kind of a weird thing on the 4th of July conversation, but we're going into it. Stay tuned, HuttCast. We'll be right back. For home and workplace comfort, we here at Dependable Heating and Air Conditioning have over 30 years of residential and commercial experience in replacing, repairing, and doing general maintenance on your heating and cooling equipment. Call the experts at Dependable Heating and Air Conditioning. For all your indoor comfort needs, we are located in Coon Rapids and serve the entire Twin Cities area. Call one of our professional technicians today at 763-757-5040. That's Dependable Heating and Cooling. Again, 763-757-5040, Dependable Heating and Air. Happy 4th of July 2021 to you. Welcome back to HuttCast, and we're going to have this conversation in the intro about the customer service people. Oh, yeah, I don't even call them people anymore. I don't know what to call them, but here's what's going on in the world. If you haven't already experienced this, you will, or you're going to. So let's start out with, the customer service. Let's start with working at home. Working at home seems to be a thing. Working at home, a lot of people love to work at home. They can sit in their pajamas and do what they need to do, but these companies who are paying these people, of course, post-pandemic, which I never really got into the pandemic thing because I worked through the whole section of it. The post-pandemic guys are now telling their employers. Now, this is directly from a guy. I won't say his name, or a person who the company recalled the employees. Most of their sales force was out on stay-at-home stuff. And they said, okay, things are calming down. Come back to the office. Our customer service has sucked because you can't get a hold of nobody. You can't pay your bills. You can't talk to ARs and APs in the same sentence. So they called these guys back, and they says, and this, by the way, is a very big company in the Twin Cities here. And they says, come on back. We want you here. We just got to be back under one roof. And as a shop owner, I get that. You can't be 10 places. And when you think you can is when your sales suck or your customer service really sucks. So here's this gig. They called these people back, and in a memo to everybody, hey, everybody's coming back. Everybody put in their notice. And the company didn't know what to do about that. They just, hey, you're coming back. Oh, I'm going to quit then. So here is a workforce that has held their company hostage to stay at home. If I can't work from home, then you'll find somebody else. And this ain't the only company I've heard them doing this. This is more than one company, but this one I have some firsthand intel on. And I thought, let's share it with you guys. Well, I don't know about you, but if I'm the owner of a company and I recall my sales force or my APs or my ARs or whatever it is to come back to work and you decided not to, for me, that's you're quitting. You've quit. And I for the life of me, I cannot figure out why these people want to sit in their pajamas at home. And most of these guys are like, what would you say? They're stay-at-home dads. They're man bun, open-toe, sandal-wearing, hemp T-shirt kind of hipsters. I don't even know what the proper term is. But I'm thinking to myself, hold on here now. If you've quit, then I don't need to bring you back. But if your whole sales force quits or your whole APs or whatever it is that you need recalled, all do the same thing to you. They organized against the company. And that organization is a really powerful thing for a company. But here I'm going to let you guys in on this. And I know some of you people listen to my podcast. This HuttCast here is pretty much like everywhere. Thank you, everybody, for doing that. But if you're the guy who does that to your company, here's what you can expect in the future. And I really, really want you to understand what you've done by doing this to your company. These people have reverted back to, okay, well, you can stay at home. We'll look at this again later. The company that did this recanted their recall issue, the recall order, and says, well, you can work there for now. But what they're doing is they're organizing themselves. And mark my words, you will be looking for a job. You will not have any of the end of the year company bonuses. You will not have anything that this company is going to offer you. That ship has sailed because you hung them hostage. And rightly so. Because you do not hold the company in which you want to make better, hostage. Because here's how I'd look at it. I want to give you a place to work, a good environment, benefits. I want to appreciate you. But what you did was you just thumbed your nose at the company that was trying to make you whole. And this is what you did to them? So you can stay at home and work? Well, that company is planning something. And you're not a part of it in the future. They'll go on a big hiring frenzy. And they'll try and fill somebody, and you'll be replacing them with yourself. These people will. And let me put that in different terms. So they're going to bring people in. You're going to train them on your job. And you ain't going to have nothing to do about it. You can't say nothing about it. Because you have done this to that company. And this company, one company I'm speaking of, very big in the restaurant business. Very, very high to do, a lot of sales volume. You know, again, if you've been on the phone with some of these people, we as a shop have these issues all the time. We want to pay our bill. And they want you to pay it, but they don't know how to. Well, we can't pay that bill over the phone. Well, then why just send the notice? So these companies who think that this is okay really don't understand how bad they suck. And all because of a pandemic? You're going to keep working because someone says, hey, you know, we should probably fit with the times and protect our employees. Well, the people that they protected them from are now the people who are the predators in this deal. You've hung them out there. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you guys, you don't get it, but you will. And I'm going to be there, and I'm going to laugh my buttocks off. And they're going to have every right to do it. So when in the past, in the old days, when you had to handle something and you called up a customer service rep and something didn't get properly put on your bill or properly corded out or whatever it is, you could simply say, hey, transfer me to accounts payable. And now you got Mrs. Linda, whoever, and oh yeah, I see that they didn't account that properly, so we're gonna fix that right now. Now it's an act of Congress to get a hold of somebody else. They cannot transfer you because they're on a home line. They're on their computer, so they tell them that in. And still there's nothing getting done. Yeah. People, I get this. These guys, they think it's okay. You can't work from home. It might be a cool thing to do. And you know what? Hey, more power if you can get away with it. But eventually that ship's going to sail. And I hope that you people who have house payments, truck payments, whatever payments you have, are going to feel it in the ass, because you need this. You need to be understood that eventually you got to go back. How nice it is to work from home. If your job affords you that, and your service truly don't suck after that, well then, okay, I'm for staying home. We have a parts vendor that's, a pretty big company. They're nationwide. They're probably global. More than likely, they are global. But we wanted to pay our bills, so we call them up, and the wife's on the horn with these guys, and they say, hey, we're going to pay this, but we don't know how to take your money. What company says that? How do you not take someone's money? You're in the business of making money, taking money, and you can't do it? What good are you? What good is that customer service rep because they want to be in their pajamas and their fluffy bunny slippers so they can say, oh, we're going to do this? It's almost as bad, but here's a topper. The guys across the Indian Ocean, or wherever these guys are from, some India or some who knows what. Now they're at home, not even in a call center, because usually you can hear the background noise of everybody talking. And we were on hold with one, and we could literally hear the roosters crowing in the background because this dude was at home. Couldn't hear a word he said, couldn't understand his dialect. It made it impossible for us to do business. So before you get all hell-bent out of shape on, we should all work at home, take a second and realize that you are there to service the customer, as we are. And when they say, jump, we say how high, and what can we do for you within our purview. So enough of the rant on the customer service at home. Think about what you guys are saying to your companies by just throwing that out there at them, because eventually they're going to change it. And I'm going to be the guy sitting back laughing. And you guys ain't going to know crap about it because you're just going to be on the street. And I hope you will have some humbling opinions on this, because you're still going to have payments. You're still going to have house payments, car payments, whatever it is. If you're independently wealthy, you wouldn't worry about this, but we're not. So dig in. You're going to have a heck of a ride coming up soon. All right, that wraps us into about 11 minutes in our first segment. Stay-at-home customer service reps, they're just not in it. They just suck. Plain out and out, they suck. Okay, moving on, and we'll be right back with HuttCast in just a moment.
In today's busy world, staying healthy and alert have become essential for those of us who want to get the most out of ourselves. So before you reach for that energy drink, ask yourself, are you really giving your body the best? If you want the energy without the jitters that commonly come from today's most popular energy drinks, then reach for something better. Reach for Super Fuel. Super Fuel is made by Casmo Incorporated. Super Fuel is a healthy boost. Super Fuel is made with vitamins B6, B12, and taurine, that is a amino acid that aids in weight loss and protects heart tissue. Beetroot powder and other healthy ingredients that will give you a quick, healthy boost. Make Super Fuel a great tasting, low-calorie addition to your daily regimen. Super Fuel by Casmo Incorporated. It can be ordered by visiting our website at www.superfuel.me or calling 833-383-5912. That's right, Super Fuel by Casmo Incorporated at www.superfuel.me or calling 833-383-5912. Super Fuel.
All right, we're back. HuttCast 2021. just after the 4th of July. Here's my next segment I want to talk to you about. And it's kind of a doozy, because I found myself in a situation where, well, we were caught without things that we needed to have. Let me case my point here. We're at our cabin. We're enjoying our weekend. We're having our fun. We are just out doing what we do. And lo and behold, we had to go to a parade, which was kind of neat. Didn't have transportation, so we commandeered a family member's quad, four-wheeler, four-seater, side-by, whatever you want to call them. We hop in this bad boy, and we get down to the scene, and we're watching the parade, and we're having a good old time. On our way back, which is about 1.5 miles from our base camp, you know, you could smell it. It smelled hot vehicle. You could smell it on the way out, but really, how hot should it get within 1 mile of this situation? So we get in this thing, and we're chugging along, and we leave the parade, get to this guy in the road. He's driving about 3 miles an hour, and find out it was my brother-in-law. Okay, hey, we're there. We're behind you. And park this rig. We parked this quad, this four-seater, under a tree, because we thought, oh, it's going to be hot. You know, it's 90-some stupid degrees out, and why not, you know, make it nice and cool for the next guy? So we did this. Went down, had a beverage, sat next to the campsite we were at, and one of the family members shouts out, "Hey, I see smoke." Well, at that point, this is when all hell broke loose. And when I mean hell, it was right there. Almost one of the worst things you could possibly imagine. This thing's on fire. This four-seater quad, whatever you would call it. And here we are. This thing's like the size of a Volkswagen, so it's a pretty big unit. We're trying to scramble after we grab everybody's fire extinguisher. And this thing was hot. This was a hot egress to this unit. And nobody's dressed for, in Nomex. Nobody's got fire suits on, but you have to get to it. So we blow about, 8, maybe 10 fire extinguishers that everybody had, while other family members were trying to link enough hoses from the house to get to this thing, which is probably about 300 feet away. Well, try and find that many hoses that fast while you're still putting out this inferno. Well, we got it there. I mean, but the water pressure was so sucky because we were up a hill about a 17-degree pitch. And here we are trying to put this machine out. Well, here's the reason why I'm talking about this today. If you think you have enough with that many fire extinguishers, and they're not the big ones, but you don't. You can't even begin to figure out how much stuff you need when something is that hot. This thing got so hot, it melted the wheels into the dirt. And that's pretty doggone hot. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so we're next to a tree. I'm trying to hide behind the tree. I'm wetting myself down with the hoses that finally made it to this inferno. And you can't stay cold enough, and of course you don't have time to dress up. You're in your shorts and your muscle shirts, and you douse yourself down with water while keeping this thing, under control. You got 911 on the way, and let's not forget we were at a parade, and this is like a one-horse town. The parade was a problem because you couldn't get past the parade for the firefighter equipment to get in. So here we are in the middle of BFE. We're squirting hoses on this. We got hoses coming from the neighbors. We got hoses coming from the other neighbors. And literally this thing is so in smoke. And, if you're anything about ATVs, they're all plastic. They're mostly plastic. So we had a plane overhead. I think we heard a chopper. They were looking for fires. So we assumed it was DNR. And they were circling the property with what they were doing because the smoke was so bad, and they had pontoons on, so it had to be a DNR guy, and they were plenty low. So back to thinking you have enough. Okay, all those fire extinguishers, but is like trying to shoot a BB at a freight train, and not even a little bit. It kind of The other thing it made was a chalky mess around the area. The tree started on fire, and the tree from the quad was probably, oh gosh, 10 feet. But the blaze is something you can't explain until you've been into a situation like that. It's that hot. I'm telling you now, everybody out there should be carrying not one, not two, but probably 4 or 5 different fire extinguishers, and not little kitty ones, but as big as you can possibly carry. Because someday you're going to need that. And we literally used as many as we could get. Couldn't get it under control. It almost was easier to burn itself out. But the problem we were having is it was so dry where we were. We didn't know if it was going to start tracking the ground. We moved all our trucks. We had a camper close by, and then the wind starts blowing it around. And the wind was moving that day. It was just 4th of July. It's pretty windy and hot. And about 60 feet away is this guy's house. We're thinking, oh crap, here we go. We're going to burn this dude's house down. He wasn't home. We're using his water. And trying to keep the gas tank from not exploding was, from beyond me, I don't know how it did happen that way. It did not explode. But it was a Roman candle coming out the filler tube. And this thing's just toasted and roasting and pushing that fuel out that tank because it's hot. I mean, again, we melted aluminum wheels to the ground, and there are puddles. There's puddles of where aluminum, where the transfer case was. It was pretty hot. So carry enough fire extinguishers. Even if you got to bolt them to the unit itself, we could have not stopped it, but we could have maybe curbed it a little sooner. By the time we caught this, the plastic all over that thing was just engulfed. There was it was a black cloud. Very, very, very on page with how little effect you can have if you're not prepared. So if you guys camp, get extra extinguishers. I couldn't imagine being inside an RV and the other side of it starts on fire, and there you are on one side of it, because you're not getting out of it. Even if you have escape hatches, and most RVs do, the REVA Association says you got to have an entrance on either side. You got to be able to get out if the one side's on fire, but it is so hot so fast, the smoke's going to get you. The smoke will get you first because you can't see, and it's total black. So heads up to you guys out there who RVs, and you might not think, it's just some guy who got in a situation. No PTSD here, really not. All you can do is what you can do. We finally got it out because it burned itself out, but we still couldn't get the tires to not keep lighting up because the aluminum was so hot on the ground underneath them. So fire finally got there. It was, 15, 20 minutes into it, and it was done. But it was stupid hot. The tree, we don't know if it's going to make it. One side of it looks like it's been hit by lightning, all the way up through the leaves. And we're just amazed that the tree itself didn't go completely engulfed. If that had gone, we would have certainly started the neighbor's house on fire, or the RVs, or, how do you stop it? How would you prepare yourself in a situation like that? So take some word of the wise. We were in that spot. We felt so helpless, but we had to try something. Now, mind you, this is the same unit that we were parked on the side of the road in the woods, backed up to a 100,000 acre wood preserve. Had it gone up there, we would have never have done it, and we would have caught half the area on fire, or if not all of it. And with the winds and the heat, you ain't stopping it. It was that fast. So it was blink, blink, done. Everything's on fire. But literally driving it back that mile-ish from that site, had it gone up there, it would have been a whole different. I feel quite fortunate that it didn't light somebody else's homes on fire. Back in this area, back in the 70s, I think 77, they had a huge fire started by someone camp stove in their tent, and it ate up thousands and tens of thousands of acres. And it took DNR weeks to get that under control. And even then, it just kind of burned itself out. So, again, heads up, you guys. Pay attention to the little things, because sometimes you got to be able to shut that off. Another thing I would tell you is always carry a health bag, a type of a kit that gives you gauze and burn ointments and whatever else, an emergency first aid kit, not the the $12 one, but the ones you get on Amazon that are loaded up for like a military guy. It's in a knapsack. It's got some stuff in it. So that's another thing I would tell you to keep on you all the time. But yeah, quite an interesting 4th of July. And you try to put some humor in this, and I looked at my brother-in-law who's just lost his bike, and I says, dude, best fireworks ever. And he kind of chuckled. Now, okay, so wrong. Too early, is it? Yeah. Sorry, brother-in-law. But I don't think in our lifetime we could ever do that again. I don't want to do it again. But we had many people taking video. We had everybody's cameras are running. We're running around trying to get hose pressure. Oh, what a snafu. Other than that, it was a wonderful 4th of July. We only had 3 fires that day. If you've ever had a smoker blow up on you, I have personally, and that was the first start of my burn that day. To end it, we actually had a fire at about 11:30, 12 o'clock at night when everybody's in bed, and the fireworks area where we let off started burning up again. So 3 fires in one day, and I can't help but believe in divine intervention here, and I don't know why they would want to start everything on fire, but hey, yeah, we had 3 of them. And minimal, not too many burns, lost a lot of hair, but it was a great weekend, and I hope you all had a wonderful one, and all your digits are still attached to your fingers, because we don't want to go there on Monday and say, hey, sew this back on, because it's kind of too late at that point. Okay, for HuttCast, we're going to put a fork in it and catch you up on a later date. HuttCast, again, very much appreciates everybody. We have the Facebook website. You can find us there. There will be no show notes today because literally this is just a seat of my pants. Try and get this out there. I had to cover the pandemic, customer service crap that we're going through, and of course the 4th of July fire. Other than that, you guys have a absolutely stunning rest of the day. We'll try and get in again soon. HuttCast is going to be in and out of the area for probably another couple weeks. Then we'll be back on schedule. I'm trying to get once a week, but pretty tough when you got vacations and customer service reps who aren't doing their job and you got to do it for them. Signing off, HuttCast. Thanks again, and be happy, people.
And that's a wrap for HuttCast. HuttCast is, again, a pragmatic approach to seeing things how some people see them. If you like our show, give us a thumbs up on the Facebook site. Again, for HuttCast, thank you again. Have a wonderful evening.